Hello again. I have been putting this episode off, but I think I'm going to give it an attempt. I want to go into Christianity a bit. And I guess I'll do that kind of by telling my story a little bit. So I was raised roughly a Christian, or at least in a Christian household, and found myself attracted rather early to conservative Christian circles. This was due in part to a conservative Christian camp I went to, and I think my parents' divorce around the age of 5 was a big contributor to me looking for the structure of conservative Christianity. It's like I felt like I needed control in my life, the ability to say, I know how, not how life works, but I know how God's approval works. And although all denominations offer grace, not many denominations offer, how would I say it, a sense of certainty of self-righteousness the way conservative Christianity does. Conservative Christianity is, I'll say it boldly, conservative Christianity is arrogant enough to claim that it knows the will of God. And that was very appealing. I started to doubt that conservative Christianity was correct as I started my schooling in college, and my young earth creationism suffered a great blow. I guess I can't do this right now. I thought I had it all worked out too. My conservative Christianity suffered a great blow when my young earth creationism suffered a great blow when I had a geology class that informed me that over a period of probably 13 classes, I'm guessing, that the earth could not possibly be young. Like, I don't know, I've always had a sense that a good argument and good evidence wins out over almost all commitments. I'll qualify that in a moment or two. And so I finally remember walking out of this. My last holdout was the Grand Canyon. I remember specifically thinking, okay, they've destroyed almost all my other ideas, but come on, the Grand Canyon, obviously a product of the flood. And not only did I discover that it is not at all a product of a flood, but the layers of stratification could not possibly have happened in the scenario of a young Earth. And I remember walking out of that class and walking through campus in a daze, and my thought was, well, I've experienced God for myself. So I know He's true, but I can no longer accept young Earth creationism, and I haven't since. Okay, so from that, how shall I proceed? Okay. It took a while for me to, even longer, this is, I'm 42, and I gave up on my young Earth creationism somewhere around my early 20s. But I didn't give up my, how shall I say this? No, I shouldn't say it that way. I gave up, honestly, I never gave up on conservative Republican views. I gave those up probably shortly after college, although I still had leanings towards the right. But I didn't lean into the left exactly. I guess I'm more, I'm what many people call themselves now as a classic liberal, and that certainly fits what I am. But what I'm trying to say is that I gave up on the political process altogether. I still vote, and I'm still looking for political solutions. Stupid freaking thing. That was my phone mount. It's not working correctly. I gave up on the process in the sense that I have come to believe within the last 5-10 years that it is so hampered by the way we do politics. I think the bones of our government are still good, but the way we do politics has created quite a bit of, corruption. Anyway, none of that is my topic. I guess I'm just giving some background. What has eventually happened is I've come to the conclusion that my Christianity is not dedicated to forcing my Christianity into the lives of those who are not Christians, which is what I believe ultimately what conservative Christian politics were intending. They were intending to say, okay, Christianity is right, our particular ethical assumptions are correct, or commitments are correct, and so we are going to make the culture Christian by making sure that as many of our morals as possible are codified into law. And we're going to celebrate the Christian side of the history of our country and ignore the deist and classically liberal roots that our country also shares. So to put it another way, the innovation of secular humanism is genius. It's genius because it allows Christians of many, many, many diverse commitments and beliefs, as well as those from other religions and non-religions, function together fine in society, joyfully even in some cases. But the moment you begin to say that I will make my commitments the rule of the land, you begin to do something more like force Christianity on people. And the only time I see Christ enraged at anybody in Scripture is when people abuse, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, when people abuse religion or religious practitioners. I'm not saying this right. Dang it. So he throws the moneylenders out, and he rebukes Peter. Those are the two moments of real rage. Not against Pontius Pilate. He never is enraged at Pontius Pilate, which I think is interesting. What all of that has taught me, I think, is that Christ's power is about manifesting truth and spiritual healing and unity in the life of Christians, in the lives of those who want it. It doesn't seem to be about, in any way, taking up the sword and making sure people do believe, in spite of certain historical elements of the church. So, that's just a springboard for the project I want to get underway about Christianity and atheism. So, I think I'll just save the rest for later.